All right, so I think yeah, everything I was just talking about, I had to hit the go live button. That's how long it's been since I've done it on my desktop. I usually stream downstairs where you just kind of like do it from your phone. But guys, welcome. There's so much I got to go over with LVO. I was so excited to come back and talk about it with you guys. We have a whole notebook that we have to go over. Wrote this down today. I was talking before I figured out that I had it go live. I was giving a shout out to Joe from War Games Live. Joe is definitely helping out the community so much. He literally brought the streaming of 40K to 40K. Joe is the guy who runs behind the scenes of War Games Live, and you guys love him so much. When we were streaming, I met Joe really this year when I got on his live broadcasts, and just have seen him almost every single tournament I go to. Awesome dude, super nice, super friendly, does all this himself, like works 12 hours a day. So that was my first shout out to Joe. Support him, he's freaking awesome. But there's so much that we're going to go over today. I'm going to be doing what we brought to LVO, what we liked about LVO, what we learned, picture by picture, turn by turn, every game that we're playing, and yeah, kind of like answer all the questions you guys could think of. So make sure you guys are posting any questions. We have the chat live right there. I could probably move my big fat head just so you guys can kind of see the comments. Let's lower that, bring that up. Boom. Now you guys can actually see what the hell we're talking about. All right. So we're going to go over everything, but we're going to try and stick to the list, and we're going to go over at the end of the video what we want to come up with 2025 for the 40K Dirtbags. First off, thank you for everybody who came up to me at LVO. It was super awesome seeing you guys in live, in person at LVO. It was just... This was probably the biggest event that I had a lot of dirtbags come up to me. Even people that weren't Patreons, like Patreons, obviously you guys supporting me so much, but just people in general saying like, hey, I love your channel. You taught me so much. I love chaos. You know, I love the tactical videos. It's almost like Joe, where it pushes us so much to keep doing what we're doing. And you guys don't understand how appreciative it is for us that you guys just come up, even if you're shy. Like there was a lot of guys that just like were come up and like, you know, almost like shaking, like, hey man, it's really nice meeting you. Like those guys are awesome, because those are the ones that watch our videos constantly and keep us going on YouTube and Patreon. So yeah, I mean, these guys right here, like Spooky, Frank, like you guys are obviously the ones that started this fucking Dirtbag Nation. So some of the comments I was reading, like, you know, for the live streams that Joe was doing, and just the support from the Dirtbag Nation was freaking awesome. Even a lot of guys was like, wait, is that the 40K Dirtbag guy? I don't know, it was cool. This whole video is going to be just like about pumping people up and our opponents that we played. Every single person this weekend was super awesome. So yeah, let's go. What we're going to be doing, there were 6 to 10 games this weekend. So anybody who was at LVO, you got 6 guaranteed games on Sunday. If you didn't make it to top 8, then you played 3 games if you wanted to at an RTT. And then if you didn't want to play the RTT, you could play pickup games. If you didn't want to play pickup games, you could just watch the finals live on this big ass projector screen on the in the front. But that was this weekend. It's definitely the biggest, I think, 40K event in the United States. There was over 1,050 people there. So just to place like top 500 is pretty freaking awesome. Last event for the ITC. So LVO is, if you guys are new, ITC is the ITC rankings. It's how you rank FLG events, 40K events, stuff like that. Each tournament that you guys get, you get points. So whether it be an RTT or a GT, a grand tournament, you guys get points based off how many players are there and what place you are in. So they rank it, and then every year they kind of give the top, 25,000 people rankings. Now this year we happen to go #1 Chaos Space Marine player in the world. That was our goal. We hit our goal. So Dirtbag Nation hit the goal. And then we actually got ranked the #1 Chaos player in the world, which I didn't even know was a topic. Like that, I think is new. That's pretty cool. So we were #1 Chaos Space Marine player in the world. That takes your top 4 grand tournament points, and then that determines how you rank for your faction. And then they do an overall ranking based off of like the region that you're in. So if you do United States, UK, Australia, Northeast, like all that stuff, they can actually do all that ranking. We were ranked #1 player in the United States. TJ Lanigan was number 2. Love TJ. Met him 3 years ago. And ever since then, we see each other all the time at tournaments. We're a little friendly rivalry. We always like talk shit, like saying we're going to compete against each other, like the game, but we never match up against each other. The last time I played him was 3 years ago. So TJ was number 2, super friendly guy. But those are the rankings, and that was a huge goal. I wasn't expecting to get that this year. I really was just focused on Chaos Space Marines. That's why you saw a lot of Chaos Space Marine content on the channel. Then we were number 4 in the world. So top 3 in the world. Number 1 was actually at LVO. He surpassed us. But top 3 was people out of the United States. That just shows like how many GTs there are overseas. I think they have a 200 person GT every other weekend. So if you really wanted to get like number 1 person in the world, you're probably going to be traveling to like LGT, stuff like that. You need 6 major GTs in the year to really place and win that number 1 spot. There were a lot of UK guys or people from overseas flying to LVO to compete in the biggest tournament of the year to try and get those points to try and place top. Innes was actually number 1 going into it. Innes, we played a couple years back, super awesome guy. He runs the stat check crew, but Innes was trying to compete for number 1, and then I think he got knocked out in maybe the 5th round against the Dark Eldar player. Really, really good guy. He was the Dark Eldar guy. But Innes, another super friendly dude. But yeah, so ranked number 1 in the United States, which is cool, and then ranked number 4 in the world. So that was awesome. So we're going to do a recap video of kind of like what the Dirtbag Nation kind of grew up to in 2024. So that's going to be coming up. I'm not sure if it's just going to be for Patreons, probably just for Patreons. Might post on YouTube, not sure. Then we got a battle report, question video focused on 2025. What we're going to be doing in 2025, we're really focusing on YouTube. Not really going to be doing as much as we did this year. This year we kind of like wanted to get there and prove that we can actually do what we do, and why we have such a good following and such an awesome crew at the Dirtbag Nation is because we want to teach people the basics, being good at 40K by knowing the core rules, not have to know every single model in the game like myself. You just have to really get good at the core rules and repetition and knowing like your army. Is there no audio? Tell me. No, there's audio. Okay, so you fucked it. Did I literally just have like no audio whatsoever? Okay, just making sure. Is there audio or not? Focus on 2025. Looking at the comments, making sure that Drew is. Cool. Awesome. Thanks, guys. So 2025, we're really focused on YouTube. I really want to get the tactical going in YouTube this year specifically. We're going to be doing a lot more videos, a lot more specific videos, a lot more tactical videos, especially with all the new codexes coming up. And then the probably 11th edition, whenever that comes around. But there's going to be a lot of stuff that we're going to be doing tactical wise for 2025. So like I said, we really wanted to prove that the Dirtbag Nation, the Dirtbags can get to that top spot, which, being the number 1 player on ITC specifically in the United States, that's really what we wanted to do. And we did it. So we proved it. Now we have to kind of grow the channel and grow YouTube and get more viewers for, guys like you that give us the support. So it's going to be super awesome. In 2025, we're going to grow the Patreon. I want to give a lot more to my Patrons, whether it be specific battle report videos, specific training videos, specific calls. A lot of stuff in the works. Me and Kiva are going to be working on that this year. And then we want to travel to other channels. A lot of stuff we did at LVO when we walked around to the stores and stuff. After we got knocked out on the 3rd day, we were able to go around and kind of see people. Wait, weird. No audio on my phone, but on my tablet. All right, cool. Good job, Ryan. Glad you can hear me. So I talked to the guy from Tabletop Titans. He was super awesome. Got his information. We talked to 40K in 40 minutes. We actually talked to his networking guy for merch. So I got his contact information. He actually played Grey Knights. So he actually knew me. I was like, 40K Dirtbags. You probably don't know me. And he's like, oh my God, you're the Dirtbag. And we started talking. It was really cool. So we're known for these other top channels, which was awesome. Vanguard Tactics, I know they're over in the UK, but like Jake, who plays Grey Knights, like we met him 2 LVOs ago with Steven and went out to dinner with them, stuff like that, and they actually remembered us. Like I was his favorite dirtbag, I guess he said that was pretty cool. But meeting these top people, and obviously Nick Nadavati with Art of War and stuff like that, but meeting these top guys from other channels on YouTube, trying to collab and get, you know, the Dirtbags out there, so that way a lot of people can see what we do, and maybe we might click more than, you know, other people, but we're not trying to we really just want to try and grow the brand this year in 2025, and networking with other top channels in the specific 40K fashion. That's really what we're trying to do in 2025. So that was a lot. New t-shirts. If you guys are this is actually one of our new shirts that we're getting going. TJ is on Vanguard. I think so. I think he got invited for team events. TJ is, I think, one of the best players in the world. He's number 2 in the United States this year, but he's been playing forever. And he's T-Suns. Like, he is the master at T-Suns. He's really good at the game, and just one-shots people with his magnets running around everywhere. But I feel like you need some guns to punish units standing in front of you. Just a thought. Love the Colt. So Colt is probably going to be retired this year. We're going to be talking about that as well. But yeah, so it was a good run. 2024 was definitely a good run. But let's get back to the t-shirts. So we have these t-shirts. This is the first test model, and this is the second test model. So these t-shirts are going to be hopefully up on the page soon. I really wanted to see which material was better that we're going to be going with. They're both good. They both breathe well. They're cotton, so they stretch well. This is the extra large. I bought a double XL and try and wash them to see if they actually shrink. But yeah, so these t-shirts, we're going to be doing one for like Grey Knights, one for Chaos, one for Custodes, one for Night Lords, specific stuff on it. So you guys will have access to purchase that and support the channel. And then we got new widgets. So we're working with Rexar Lasers. If you guys don't know, Rexar is sponsored a lot of channels, but he does the terrain sets that we have in our videos. He does the clear plexiglass, which I suggest everybody buying, because you should bring it to every training thing that you're doing, every game that you play, because practicing on the GW, you see it at the GTs. So having a terrain set to bring with you to stores, even if you don't have the stuff to go on top, you can put literally anything on top to try and match Games Workshop layout. But bringing those to stores is definitely good. I have 3 sets of them, so that way I have one in my car, one at home, and then one that I can bring into a store in case I forget it. But yeah, so there's new widgets from Rexar Lasers coming. We're going to be doing the tokens for CP and turns. We're going to be tokens for wounds. We're going to be tokens for battle shock. I think it says fuck you or get fucked. That's going to be the battle shot tokens. And then I think we're doing widgets for measurement. So we have a 9-inch widget, I believe, a 3-inch, 6-inch, and 2-inch, just like we had before. We might be selling them in packs, just like you purchase one pack and you get all of them, and then we'll do individuals later on. But Patreons are gonna have the first access to that. I'll be posting up on patreon.com first. So if we sell out first with Patreons, then we might order some more for everybody else. But yeah, and then the last thing, we have one more GT before we retire Chaos Colt. Now, not forever. It's going to be some friend games. I'm not going to run like this Chaos Colt specifically for like super hardcore tournaments. I really want to get into different factions, and like I said, 2025 is going to be more of growing the channel and playing different armies and stuff like that. I might maybe focus on one faction like Death Guard, because I know their codex is coming out very soon, or Emperor's Children, because Fulgrim looks fucking awesome. But yeah, so Chaos Colt is retiring. If you guys see other people with Chaos Colts, I will still be testing and playing that for my Patreons who need coaching with Chaos Colt. So if you guys do want to play Chaos Colt, I will still be here for coaching if you guys want to do that, but I will not be running it at GTs anymore. So yeah, we did good with 2025 or 2024. Fuck, I keep saying 2025. And if you guys are new to the channel, appreciate the click on the video. We do curse a lot, so I apologize. We are the Dirtbags. We probably lose a lot of YouTube money because of all of our cursing, but yeah, still have a ton of widgets from my days in War Machine. Same. I don't use them anymore because I upgraded to Dirtbag widgets, but That's what stopped me bringing widgets into this game, is because of 40k. All right, so let's go over to the list, guys. If you guys have been paying attention to the channel, it's basically the same as before. Dave, thanks for joining. Love you, man. Dave actually has my trophies, so trying to get him to come up so we can play a game on stream, so we can get those trophies up. But yeah, Dave did really well, and we haven't played in a while, so Dave, get your ass over here so we can play. All right, so let's go to the list. We have a list right here. It's Cypher. Cypher should be in every single list for Chaos Space Marine. He's not really going anywhere. We have the Dark Apostle. Now, Joe was trying to explain like why we had the Dark Apostle, and not Joe. It was like other guys who were with Joe. But the Dark Apostle is really there because you always have the +1 to wound with your Accursed Cultist unit. So anytime you are doing the full rerolls to hit and wound, you're leadership 5 with this guy. So you're able to almost always pass your Dark Pact and your Desperate Pact to try and do the full rerolls to hit and wound. You can get rid of a Battle Shock unit as well at the beginning of any phase. And he has 2 additional models that give a 4-up invuln, just to kind of sack some different crazy wounds from it. Jeremy was trying to explain it to him. Technically number 1 Chaos Space Marine. Dave technically is the number 1 Chaos Space Marine player in the world right now. He definitely has the trophy to prove it. Jeremy was watching the game. That was the first time I actually talked to him in person. I think we met Mythicos like a couple years ago, but the first time we actually like talked and he remembered me, so that was cool. But yeah, so Dark Apostle just brings back D3 models. Like, you can bring back 3 big guys, which is super scary, especially with 3 wounds each. You're giving up the save, but they're kind of like a late game piece where after turn 2 or turn 3, there's really nothing else that is going to one-shot them usually on the table, because you have your red squad coming in and your yellow squad coming in, which in my army it's the scouting squad and the +1 strength squad, but he is there to just super bully tanks with the +1 wound, higher toughness models, because you're always going to be winning on 5s no matter what. Really good guy. So that, I think, should be in every single Chaos Cult list no matter what. Dark Communes, just 5-up invuln, +1 to hit, +1 to wound, advance and charge for free. One has the +1 strength if they're killing their own guy. So if you pass a Dark Pact, try and reroll it so you could fail it. That way, if you kill a guy automatically, you're already at +1 strength. And then if you fail the Desperate Pact, like whether it be you advancing or charging, whatever, you're going to kill a guy. Don't roll the Feel No Pain, like rolls one at a time, because if you make a 6-up, you're like, all right, I'm going to fail the next one automatically, so that way you can just remove a guy and then automatically get the +1 strength. And then we got the Dark Commune with the scouting. Now, scouting at LVO this year was kind of hit or miss because of the terrain setup and the players that we were playing. We weren't playing any bad players. I think every player we had was really good, so I couldn't just like scout forward, commit, and try and table him that way. So still getting into position, and this is really good for the one where you have to do the action on the objectives to control it for the rest of the game. I'm blanking right now, whatever that was. You walk up, you do the action, and then if you survive, you get it for the rest of the time. That mission. So it's really good for that, because you can kind of like walk up, scare them from starting off really close to you, like in our Custodies game, and then you kind of just walk up, do the action, and then they can't really kill an entire unit. So then we got Fabius Bill. I liked him ever since I saw him in the Codex, so he's obviously in this list. He is with Terraform. That's it. So he is in this list because he gives +1 strength, +1 toughness, but the cultists that he's with give him the not the demon keyword, the damned keyword. So he gains the abilities to do the strats, to get the Desperate Pact, the +2 movement, getting out of a Rhino. He has 3 shots, anti-infantry 2+, 18 inches for a pistol for some fucking reason. And he's got a 3 damage weapon. So anything with -1 damage or half damage, you're still doing 2 damage on the swings. He's got 6 attacks, can blank a save, get back up on a 2+. This dude is just a monster for 85 points. So he's probably in most lists of Chaos Space Marines anyway. We minimized the list. We actually have 4 cultist mobs. This one shows 5 because my old list. But we have 4 cultists, 4 10-man cultists. People ask why you don't run 20. It's because of Call the Horde. Like, I don't want to give them a easy Call the Horde target, because if they do pick Call the Horde and they kill 2 Call the Horde units, it's 10 points. Like, that is a huge fucking swing. So we minimize it so that way we don't feel bad for throwing a 10-man cultist just to kind of go tie somebody up. I might go into a demon like, hey, how many attacks does your demon have? 7. Here's 10 cultists. you're not going to one round them. Here you go. That's kind of what they're there for. And obviously blocking out the backfield, so you can have 1 cultist in your home field making it sticky, block out that part, and then you can have the other side making that part sticky, blocking out the left side. So you can block out the whole backfield with just 2 cultist blobs. So which is the scariest army you had to play against, and what made you go, oh fuck? We'll get into that. I think it was my game against the Space Marine player that had the tank that just one-shotted fucking everything. I actually took pictures of that game, so we'll get into that game. Tell us about your... Hey, look at that. Dave already called it. So, the Repulsor Executioners. That is my scariest game and scariest tank that if I see it on the table, I don't want to... I got to get to it as soon as possible. What's up, Fly? Thanks for joining. We have 6 units of Trader Guard. We have Plasma Flamer and a Plasma Flamer, not the grenade launcher, a Plasma Flamer Melta. So having those, it gives you different options. Usually always lethal with this unit, so you're kind of just rolling a ton of shots. Yes, you're doing Dirtbags. If you kill you guys, okay. But most of the time, if you're within rapid fire range of 12 inches, you're getting 14 shots of regular things hitting auto wounding on 6s. If you auto wound a Melta and it goes through, it's fucking hilarious. Plasma getting 2 shots, overcharging every single time, and then the Flamer, you know, kills random chaff. But those are the weapons you're bringing for the Trader Guard. The 2 OPSEC, speed 8 because of the Desperate Packs, and they're awesome dudes. We have the Rhino for Bile and a 10-man cultist. You can't put him with a Trader Guard, or he would be with a Trader Guard. He can only go with cultists. Hell yeah, off for the... Nice, Frank. For the cracking a cold one. Booyah. Yeah, the guy who won with 3 of those things. F that guy. We didn't get to play. I wish we would have played, because that would have been a really, really good test. But we got the Chaos Rhino. All the regular weapons. It is probably my highest scoring point unit in the game, actually. You bring this in the list because you need a vehicle. We do have a monster, but sometimes Sile isn't on the table, Celeste, so we need him to always be on the table, so that way if they do bring it down, they can't just throw it away for free. They have to try and kill it, which they usually can't because it's hiding until they pick it. Once they bring it down, then you can start bringing out your Rhino and start doing shit. Rhino actually was in charge of killing the Sanguinor against the game against Jack, which was hilarious. It was totally uncalled for. Like, it shouldn't have even got to that point, but it did get to that point, and he died with a tank shock. What's up, buddy? 3 Curse Cultist units, obviously, because that's what this whole list is about. We have the Demonettes. Demonettes, people always ask, like, why are they in this list? Because they're freaking good. They have an 8-inch charge out of Deep Strike. They're speed 9. They have hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. If you're on an objective, full rerolls. They have dev wounds. They're strength 4, surprisingly. And it gives you the access to either bring Seekers, which we didn't have at LVO. We brought Celeste. Celeste was the secret to the addition to this list because it's a 2d6 freaking flamer, strength 6, AP 1, ignore cover, dev. It can come down. I say it because it's like a girl and a guy, but it can come down and it could do the extra 2 or 3 mortal wounds that you need to either kill tank, kill unit, kill whatever. It's a really good Overwatch target, and this dude gets back up on a 2+ with 9 wounds. 4 pinball and save. I did have the Beast of Nurgle in this list, which lucky last cannon shot, because he has a 5-up pinball and save, could literally just pick it up, which it did at Worlds. So Worlds was the last time we ran the Beast of Nurgle. We added Celeste by taking out the Seekers, the Beast of Nurgle, and then we upgraded a Cultist unit to an Accursed Cultist unit. What is an Infernal Master? Fuck, now I have to look up what the hell that is. What's up, John? So I don't know what an Infernal Master is, but if it's better than Celeste, maybe we can, but we are retiring this list, so it's got to be in like the next game or not, because we're running at UTC next weekend. And then your Nurglings for the scout. If they have scouts, we usually put, or infiltrators, we usually put Nurglings out, so that way I have a place to scout with my 1 AC/DC brick. Okay, so yeah, I don't have the Infernal Master. I'm sorry. That just goes to show how much I know unit-wise about this game. All right, but yeah, so that's the list, guys. It only changed a little bit with Celeste and getting rid of the Beast of Nurgle and the Seekers, obviously. But yeah, it's really good. If you guys want to copy it, you're more than welcome to copy it. So let's get into the pictures we took. All right, so these are in no specific order. Let's make me smaller. You guys don't care about me. If you guys are interested, Dave, I don't know if there's any spots left, but Winter Ruin, you can give a little shout out, post a link if you want. Winter Ruin was the event that we're going to. UTC is giving away a golden ticket. We lost to Matt Laura in the finals last year. $2,500 was the prize support for first place, and $1,000 we won last year for second place. So if GTs actually gave a prize support, I think it would be toxic. I think store credit is fine, but cash prize is nuts. Luckily, Matt Laura is one of the nicest people in the world. Playing him was super, super awesome. So me and Matt had like one of the best games we ever had, trying to win prize money and golden ticket. He only cared about the golden ticket, but $2,500 wasn't a bad parting gift. So let's get into some of these random pictures. Let's get into this one. Wow. All right, so this is just showing, yeah, here's some of the screenshots. So we were 14th going into the shadow round. Top 16 went into the shadow round, and then it came out to 8. This is just showing that we won the Chaos, Space Marine, and Chaos in general. So thanks, Dave, for picking up those trophies. And then this was the final rankings. We had Mark, which was Deathwatch. Congrats, Mark. Ben with the Space Marines. Jack Harpster with the Blood Angels. Floof with the GSC. Ridvan Martinez with the Drukhari. Josh with the Space Marines. Jay Eggett, if you guys have contact with this guy, I need to talk to him. I want to get him on the channel so I can interview him about his list, because I do want to try it out. It looked freaking awesome. And then us in 8th place, that was the top 8. And then Don Houston looked at his list. I think he was the crab guy. That was fucking hilarious. TJ, and then all the rest of the guys down here. This was just showing we were ranked number 4 in the ITC. For that, TJ was right below us. Josh Roberts won the ITC this year with 1522 points, takes your best 6 scores. And then we were number 1 in the United States at 1488. This is who I want to talk to. If you guys have contact with this guy, that is who we want. And this was funny. I just wanted to give a shout out to Tim. So Tim, just wanted to give a shout out to you. I love watching Derek's recap videos. Never seen anyone so good at 40K who just doesn't know anything it is, or who doesn't know what anything is called. That is exactly what we say every single video. So this is what I was laughing at with the comments watching these videos again. So shout out to Tim, fucking hilarious. All right, let's get into all of these. Let me pull up this one. All right, cool. So these are the lucky GT shoes. If you guys see me wearing these shoes, watch out. These are our lucky Stars and Stripes American shoes. But what else we got? 6 spots left. Would make any changes to the list after running it through the gun? No. This list is probably fine-tuned. It's got 60-some games under its belt, and Sio was literally the last addition to the list that is just so good. All right, so our first matchup, guys, was against Custodes. We luckily read about this. Yeah, Spook. I mean, core rules is what you need to know. Like, that's really what the Dirtbags teach you, is like just know the core rules left and right. hell yeah, hey dudes is the way to go. But knowing the core rules and your army like the back of your hand without having to flip through the app is going to be how you win tournaments, RTTs, and GTs. You're the best players with the worst pronunciation I've ever seen. Yes, 100%. Like I said, you don't need to know shit. You just need to know the core rules and your army. But this is going to be funny because if you guys are new, we're going to go over kind of what I think they are called. It's most likely going to be the Dreadnought with the shield, the big tank, the chicks. That is what's going to be most of this video. But let's get into it. So this was the first opponent. This is the last time he played was at LVO last year. This guy was really good. I don't want to say names because, again, I didn't really ask them before I did anything, so I don't want to say names. But if you guys know this guy, really good player. He just wanted a simple army, so he brought the new Spearhead detachment, Solar Watch. That is the Dreadnought. Dreadnoughts are scary in T-Suns, but once I saw that this was my first matchup, I kind of knew there just wasn't enough attacks to chew through the Chaos Cult. It was almost impossible. But there are some things that he could have done differently, which we'll go over. And the big 4-shot tanks, like can kill 4 cultists dudes. That's about it. So, and then the big Telemon with the 5-up, Feel No Pain, the Bolter Chicks. The one guy who has the enhancement with the extra damage, the character with 3 bikes, 2 of the blade guys, and then 2 of the shield guys, which have built-in -1 to wound. That's super scary against Chaos Cult. So we wanted to try and ignore these guys as much as possible and to try and win on primary. I should probably pull up. I'm going to pull up the games so you guys know the LVO packet, if you guys were there, but the LVO packet had the games ahead of time so you know what you're playing. Mission 1 is A. So simple, take and hold, raise banners, and tipping point. Every single game that day was tipping point. So this was the deployment. We played WTC terrain, which I've never really played before, but the WTC terrain has the rectangles with the big buildings for plunging fire if you wanted to get up there. Yeah, super weird setting it up. Like I said, tipping point. So we have 12 inches or 20 inches over here and then 12 inches down here. And we went first. Yes, so Chaos Space Marines went first. We started off by basically being super aggressive. We always start these guys right in the corner because if you don't go first, you can kind of just back them up, move them forward in cover in that little L on terrain setup 1. Then everything else that we usually put is the green squad up top here, which is the guys that can come back D3. So a little trick here is you kind of put one guy on the objective. Like, obviously not this setup, but if you have one guy on the objective and they choose to shoot at you, you can kill the guy off the objective in the command phase, bring the guy back onto the objective, control it, and then you get points. So that's why I always put the resurrecting guys up top in the corner, so that way I can keep doing that little combo. But here I just basically ran forward to set up for turn 2. Bio and his squad is inside the Rhino. They always run up right behind there to do actions or cleanse or whatever they have to do. Same with the red squad. So I set up the same way almost every single game. And that's another key thing is when you guys are going to the GTs, you want to think as little as possible. So Nukival does this a lot, where he'll actually print out everything and where his guys are going to be deployed. So that way when he goes into that game, he doesn't even have to think. He puts his guys down, he deploys, boom, he can start the game. There's no thinking about it. I'm going to do an updated video for terrain setups, but if you can deploy without caring what your opponent does, that's huge. Because most of the time, you really just need a couple units here and there to do actions turn 1, and then your big guns can be deployed last, depending on where your opponent puts their stuff. But 90% of your army is going to be put down, not really caring about what your opponent does. That just gives you an example, especially with Chaos Cult. And then we had the Nurglings all the way up front to try and stop the big dreads from getting around this building, because he can go through the building, but if we have enough guys in front, can't really move past the building. So yeah, us going first, we kind of just ran out. We got these guys on the point. The yellow guys ran this way diagonally because I wanted to not have a ton of shooting from this side. Like there's a couple pot shots that he can do at me, but that's about it. These guys aren't going to get to me turn 1 because they're too slow and can't run through the building from that far away. The bikes, I really want to go after them. Like they're going to be my first target I can try and get to as soon as possible. So if he moves them up, that is who we're going after. These -1 to wound guys, we're going to try and ignore them as much as possible. And then you can see just this big ass blob of dudes right here. We have 2 OBSEC from these guys, 2 OBSEC from these guys. The Rhino's OBSEC 2. All these guys are 1. So that's like, what, 30 OBSEC on this point already? And then we just want a little toe here in case he has to come out and do something to try and stop that. So we got 3 objectives. He has to kill these guys to stop me, and then that's about it. His turn 1, he finishes up everybody. He puts his bikes forward right here, gets some pot shots off, but that was the go turn. This is where I'm like, all right, he moved them up. Now we have to go after him. He started too far back. I couldn't get to him in turn 1. So we moved his bikes up. We're like, all right, we're going to full send, +1 to hit, +1 to wound, commit everything into him, and just try and kill his bikes, which we killed all of the bikes and left his character, I believe, on 4. So his character has 4 wounds left, which at the end of the fight phase, he's able to fall back, which is awesome. I really want to run them. But he's falling back, so he falls back forward over to here. Just that way he can start, going after my backfield with his 1 character. And then I try to tie up everything else. So this one Dread, the Telemon, has 5 attacks in melee. Like I said before, if there's not enough attacks to one-shot somebody, you just tag them. And then these tanks had the same thing. So we didn't hit the melee tank or guy. We don't want him in combat. But this shooting tank, and then this shooting Telemon, we wanted in combat. We then tied this objective. He had 4 OBSEC because he wasn't hurt on the point. We then put 4 guys on this point. And that was our little turn 1. These guys are basically coming in to try and stop the movement from these things. So these guys came in from reserves to stop that movement, and then we just waited. So that's really all we have to do against this army is just wait for him to come out, because we're just going to keep camping the objectives. And then we just kind of rushed everything else forward. Turn 3, this is where the bike landed up. Now what he should have done, he didn't think that he can kill Cypher with the shooting and charging. Usually you can if you get enough attacks into him. So what he should have done was move up, shoot Cypher, try and one-shot him. If he doesn't, then just charge him. I can heroic into him, but I'm not going to kill his bike captain. Really, if he could just one-shot and kill Cypher off the table, that's going to be the best go for this guy who lost his unit on turn 2. And then down here, he's kind of just like whittling down my ACDC brick with all of the melee and Melta and shots from these guys. Backs up this thing scoots up, this thing stays in combat. These guys, like I said, we're just trying to tie him up, leave him in his deployment zone so that way he doesn't get any. Look at this shit. There's just too many guys to count. This is 40, 50, probably 60 OBSEC on this point. So at this point, it's like, what the hell do these 2 guys even do? So we brought the red guys in up top because I'm going to ignore, like I said, these 2 dreads that have the -1 to wound. He should have reversed them, put 1 on one side, 1 on the other, so that way both sides have a dread that just can't really die from me. And then that we have an attacking dread on this side as well to do a little bit more damage. So we went around to these 2 dreads with our red squad with a ton of shots just from the traded guard unit, like the Meltas, the Plasmas, the Flamer, and then we charged them. So after we charged them, they died, and then we piled in Consolidate, and we just kept kind of pushing forward. By the end of the game, the Telemon in the center died. Demonettes and Celeste came back from here. The green guys came down here. Cypher still alive. He has the 2 -1 to wound guys. Sisters, 1 tank, 2 tank, sisters, and that's it. This tank is actually right there, and that's it. And then at the end of the game, this is the end board state. We're basically just again tying up everything. Bio finally came out to play on turn 5, and this is the final score. So we finished up with a 50 on primary. He had 25, and then on secondaries he had 17. We had 35. So finished up with 95 to 52 first game. So good start to the LVO. First game against a list that I knew was going to struggle going into Chaos Cult. Still really good opponent. Fun to test and see that on the table. Next game, Chaos Space Marines. We lucked out playing an army that we know pretty well. So with this list, he was running like the sand dunes guys, like I forget how he described it. But the whole army looks like that. So really cool. He was running vets of the Long War. So he has his own 4 rerolls to hit on a unit. This mission was Linchpin. So Linchpin, Fog of War, and obviously Tipping Point. So Linchpin, if you control the home field objective, you get 5 points for each objective in the center, +3 on your home field objective. If you don't control your home field, I believe it's 3 in the center instead. So we do the same setup. We have our green guys up here with the Rhino. We have all of our Trader Guard over here, some Cultists back here, and then obviously the yellow squad, because this terrain setup, we put the Nurglings up front so he can't deny our scout. They're basically going to advance in this little triangle, or scout in this little triangle, just to set up turn 1. Now, if I go first, which you can't go first and kill something with Vect. Dark Eldar, Chaos Space Marines, Imperial whatever with the assassin, any the demon bird thing, anything that has Vect, Gene Stealers, or not Gene Stealers, Tyranids with the Swarm Lord, anything that has Vect, you cannot commit turn 1 because you need the full rerolls to hit and wound with your ACDC brick. So you need to save up for 2 CP or go second to commit turn 1. So that's what I realized at Nova, is anytime they have Vect and you go first, you're not committing, because his Cypher was basically right where my Cypher was, right here. So if I commit and kill, which I wanted to kill all the tanks, all the Noise Marines, and probably this Predator, because I scout 6, advance, and then charge. I probably would have killed all this turn 1 and just be like, here, go. But with Vect, I can't do that, because his Vect aura goes all the way out to here. So I would need 2 CP to get 4 rerolls to hit and wound. Not worth it, so we did not commit. And that is what happened here. He had 6 Nurglings with it, which now I can actually make a video how to beat Chaos Cult. So stay tuned for that, because I'm going to be making a video on how to deal with this bullshit. And Nurgling is one of the first things to do. So if you guys have Nurglings, do not put them out front like this. This is the worst thing you can do going against a Chaos Cult player, because we do not like -1 to hit. It's just, that is the downfall to Chaos Cult. Let me just make sure, pop out chat. All right, cool, we're back. That's the thing that you want to do. So if he had 6 Cultists or 6 Nurglings, he probably could have put them right here. And I have to try and kill them as soon as possible, because once I get into combat and I'm not using my -1 to hit, I'm hitting people on 5s, which is not good. So that's why the Nurglings are going to be my kryptonite, so you have to keep them safe. Yeah, so buy shit that gives -1 to hit most of the time. So this is what most people do, which is wrong against me, is see how I put my Nurglings like right there? You can even put them 1 inch away from the wall. That's so they don't die, because -1 to hit in this game is very good, especially with people that hit on 4s. So he could actually put his Nurglings 1 inch away from the wall right here. I know they can't go through the wall, but they can just be annoying and never die. But that right there would stop most of my fighting power with just a unit of Nurglings. So I would deploy him here, because what happened to these guys was, do you see where all my shit is deployed? I deployed 1, 2, 3 Cultist units, 4 with Cypher. I basically put all my guns to just shoot these Nurglings and try and kill them as soon as possible. And that's what happened. Turn 1. This guy, I'll go over that real quick. But you can see no Nurglings are left, because we moved up everybody to like kind of just go diagonal so I can get line of sight to these guys. Cypher moved up to get line of sight. The little Mind Kamehameha Witch back here moved up to get line of sight, because he has 3 shots, sustained 2, AP1, 2 damage shot. So all of the guns lined up to just murder the Nurglings, which we did. So we killed them in shooting, which if they were back here, none of them would die, because I wouldn't commit. I would just wait, and now you would wait, and now you have bikes in front of me with Nurglings, and it wouldn't be good for me. So yeah, that's the first tip: how to beat Chaos Cult. Bring Nurglings and keep them safe. So he has bikes, 3 Predators, 2 Predators, 2 Predators. Don't think he has any Vindicators. A couple Rhinos. He's got a lot of Noise Marines with this detachment, and Cultists, Cypher, Lord, Executioner, Legionnaires, and I believe that was it. So and a Terminator, Sorcerer, Lord. Really cool customization with this guy. But yeah, using a clock, which will come up later. This guy, super awesome shirt. He's running this big ass watermelon looking Tyranid. He's got a Tyranid eating watermelon. So dude, I need a picture of your shirt. But yeah, this guy is bringing the big ass, I don't know the name of this thing, but bringing that to LVO is just fucking awesome. All right, so this is after going second. So I went first, but I just really was waiting for him to commit. So I wanted to. He did really well with blocking out my advance. So basically, I moved up to set up, and then he advanced his bikes. So his bikes were here, here, and then here. So basically blocked off everything for me to get to his army. So I couldn't really advance too strong on turn 2. So we had to kill his bikes as much as possible. So we did kind of the same thing where we just moved up slowly and just shot as many bikes as we can. And then we finished them off with the charge. So we charged with the green squad to kill this unit. We charged with the yellow squad to kill these 2 units. And then we got a lot of people on the objectives. We failed this. We wanted these guys to charge the tank, but we failed that because we wanted these guys to be on the objective to try and hold it. But we did tie up the Predator, the Rhino, and now he's about to commit. So everything is about to come out of the Rhinos and start to come out and just try and murder me. So he brings literally everybody out. And when this happens, I have to bring in my Rapid Ingress. So Rapid Ingress is coming down here, out of line of sight of really the major tanks that I really care about. The Predators with the autocannons mainly. So they're here and they're about to advance and murder all of this shit. So he's got the Lord here with Legionnaires. He's got a Master of Execution with Legionnaires. He's got Noise Marines up here. He's got Cypher back here, which he has a reactive move, which is awesome. He's got Noise Marines here, Noise Marines there, and he has a bunch of cultists in the back screening out the backfield. And he steals all of his tanks. So this turn is where we start committing our green squad. We commit our red squad, and we're just about to kill as much as we possibly can. So after this, he's got 41 minutes. I have 44 minutes. This is where it ends up. So we murder everything on this side with the full rerolls to hit and wound. That's what we did on this squad. This squad just wanted to tie everything up over here. But having the +1 to wound, you're going to kill a lot of stuff anyway. So we killed, I think, all of these Plague Marines, or all of these Noise Marines. We killed 3 Noise Marines here. The Sorcerer is right there behind the building doing an action. We killed 8 Cultists, tied up Tank, tied up Rhino. And then down here, he has Noise Marine still, and Cypher walked into the Rhino. Now, Cypher walking into the Rhino helps me not have to worry about spending 2 CP. All I have to do is worry about spending 1 CP and get full rerolls to hit and wound. So that helped out a lot by having him put Cypher in there. Now, I probably would have shot Cypher with my Cypher or thrown a grenade. So him walking into there kind of like, I didn't get to kill him, but it was kind of the same thing where him not being on the table is just as effective as me killing him. Thanks, Kyle. Appreciate it. Kyle, didn't see you there. Missed you. Overall, the year 40K, nicely done. I appreciate you. You almost beat me at Nova, which is funny because you scared the shit out of me when we played. So next time we play, I'm sure you'll destroy me. Demonettes came down defensively back here, and they basically moved up here to finish off the unit that was on this objective. Cypher safe. This is what you do with Nurglings, guys. This, you 1 inch away from the wall, surrounding your key targets, which is our Cypher. That is what Nurglings do. So, perfect example of what you want to do with your Nurglings. Handsome folks in the chat, 100% agree. Dude, I don't know if I'm going to the next AU tournament. I think that's coming up though. Hopefully I see you both there. AU tournament is not till the 22nd. I actually will be there, February 22nd. Something came up, so we'll be there February 22nd. Yeah, so this is this. Again, it's not looking good for the Chaos Space Marine player. I have 22 minutes. He has 38 minutes going into his turn. Finishing off the guys, we have Bile in his home field. We have our character in his home field. He only has really tanks left. And this is basically starting to whittle down the end of the game. So end of the game, I have Sile in his backfield, our character in the backfield, nothing else I have to worry about in here. Full red squad. We have 2 minutes left. He has 12 minutes left. And we finish up turn 5 with 89 to 34. We were able to stop his primary most of the game. He got 3, 3, 3, 0, 3. I think he had 0, but 3, 3, 3. He had 15 on secondary, so it was just a brutal game going into Chaos Space Marines. Like, knowing your army left and right, you know what you are going against and how to beat it. So, yeah. Yeah, Kyle needs to travel more. I know he just got married, so. Things they wish I could be trying to grind a little more this year, get some more larger events, hopefully. Number one Dark Age play Northeast. Hell yeah, dude. Especially with a Lion being buffed. All right, guys. Third game. I felt so bad. This guy was such a cool dude to hang out with. This was our fastest game. This was Scorched Earth, Swift Action, which means you could bring, I think, up to 200 points of battle line on turn 1. No, that's Rapid Escalation. Swift Action. That might be advancing and falling back. Yeah, it might be advancing, doing action, falling back, and doing action with battle line. So I have 13 battle line units, so it was kind of like not fair. And going into an army that I have so much practice with. So I kind of know exactly what to look out for, what to ignore, what to go after, and stuff like that. And I think this is the first time he played Chaos Cult. So I helped him out as much as I can at the end of the game, kind of telling him what to go after, what to focus, what to kill, and stuff like that. But dude, again, this guy was super awesome, super chill. And let's get into this. But he has Khorne with the character, Big, Bloodthirster, the pinks, which is the first time I saw pinks in a normal demon list like this. It's got the pink character, the Flux, dogs, the Flamers, big squad of Flamers. He's got the these dudes that have, see, again, you kind of know what they do. You don't need to know the names, but you're like, all right, these guys have 6 attacks, AP2, 2 damage, or 3 attacks, AP2, 2 damage. Like, they hit freaking hard. So look out for them. And if they fly over you, speed 14, they do mortals. I know that. Don't know the fucking name is. Screamers. The Screamers. Watch out for the Screamers. Plague Bearers who have Sticky. Schlaxy with the character, the one that gets full rerolls, hit, wound, and damage against character units. Screamers of Tzeentch, yes, John. Screamers of Tzeentch is what you want to look out for, but her in my army is scary because she can target the character with precision automatically and kill the character. So you want to hide your character as much as possible. So, yeah, demons going into Codex. This seems pretty good. Big Nurgle dude with the enhancement. Subspace, and then this guy is fully customizable. This is actually all green stuff. Like, lifting this thing up is like 2 pounds of green stuff. He did all that himself. I was like, that is impressive. So yeah, that's his list. So this is our deployment. We are playing Scorched Earth, so I want to wait till turn like 4 to start burning shit and try to get to his home field. I'll try to burn his home field, but this is a normal setup. This is our setup, basically the same as the same terrain as the Custodes player. Same thing, green squad, Rhino, Cultist, Cypher in the middle to go anywhere, yellow squad to scout, and yeah, everything is basically the same. You don't want to think when you're going to a major GT. After turn 1, this is basically after turn 2. So after turn 2, we know to throw your Rhino into the big Geo. That is just a given. Big Geo is strength 8. Your Rhino is toughness 9. So you wound your Rhino on 5s, AP 2, so you have a 5-up save against it. So once I charged at him, I was like, all right, so he's like, wound on 3s. I was like, no, I think you wound on 5s. He's like, all right, let me check. I was like, yeah, just check real quick for me. He's like, oh, fuck, he's strength 8. I was like, yeah, that's why I launched my Rhino at you. So that is like Geo being in the center. You could tell I have nothing in the center because once you touch a Geo, you don't ever not touch a Geo. So that's the thing about Geos, is just stay away from them, shoot them from afar. If you have the weapons to kill them, but I do not. So with the pinks, I knew that I had to 1-round them or they were just going to be stuck in combat for the rest of the time. So I saved my 4 rerolls to hit and wound with this yellow unit, so that way they can 1-round the pinks all the way in his deployment zone. And that's basically what we did. So I think we killed them to the wound, or like 1 or 2 extra above the wound, because they have a 4 won't save. Like, they're going to survive. The Screamers did die first. They came out to the center, and I think we shot them with, these dudes with Cypher. Cypher. Again, I have to say this because I told him I would. He rolled god awful. The Screamers, I think, made 1 save out of 12. This Fiend big thing up here made like 2 saves out of all of these attacks. Yeah, it was just bad. I felt bad, and again, it was just bad. So look how much. So we have blocking out the backfield right here. because they can come down within 6, which we blocked out all of 6. So we measured 6 inches instead of 9 inches. So these guys are all 6 inches away from the table edge, and then we're 12 inches away from each other, so we can't come in literally anywhere. Now, if you guys look at the table, we have up here, we have the Rhino, we have here, we have here, we have all back here. I have this side, I have this side now. After we kill these guys, we then just kind of like pile towards, or we kind of move towards the objective, so we spread back a little bit and these guys stay there. We deep strike Sile here because the Demonettes came down, they rapid ingress here to again try and take over his home field the next turn. So we, instead of rapiding our ACDC brick, we rapided our Demonettes to block out more of the field and try and steal his home field. So again, we have literally the entire field to come in at. And what he has off the table is Shalaxi, the Bloodthirster died on his charge. That's why he's not on the table. So the Bloodthirster charged into this green squad, I think on turn 2. And then I spent 1 CP, 4 rolls to hit wound, and we picked up the Bloodthirster. That's how scary this list is against demons. So the Bloodthirster died. The Bloodletters are off the table with the character, and Shalaxi's off the table with the Flamers. So all those stuff couldn't come in the table this next turn. That makes it worth it. He can spend a CP to come down within 6 inches, but then they just die next turn, and then I have the whole table flooded anyway. So we basically called it here, and we talked it out a lot. So after you see this, what you have to do against this, if you're playing demons, is just start everything on the table, especially if you can go up and down. So if you can start everything on the table and just be kind of like focus down 1 ACD brick at a time, or kill my characters. So if you can precision out my characters, that's going to be your goal with demons. If you have Nurglings, bring Nurglings, because that's going to help out with demons. You got to be more aggressive with the pinks. So if the pinks were in deep strike, that would be fine, because they can come down and shoot 18 inches away, just a ton of shots, just whittle down some of the bricks, and then your flamers are going to be used for rapid ingressing and then getting a really good overwatch. So you can deep strike them, shoot, and then if somebody moves, you can overwatch them. Like, flamers are going to be your key unit into the ACDC unit if you're going to try and whittle down one unit fully. So yeah, start everything on the table and just kind of go after characters 1 unit at a time. Now, good players are going to try and hide the characters. So if you can hide the character from your ACDC brick, which most of the time I do, you can see here, for example, she's right here behind the wall. So that way, even this little character over here couldn't snipe her out. And then up here, the character moved up because he's not a character. But if he would have rapided Shalaxi or something like that, Shalaxi can move up, charge, get line of sight, and kill that guy. He was back here in this corner before I committed. But the Geo, I don't think you can fall back and do anything. So the Geo could have moved up, assassinated, and killed that character. But now the Geo's tied up with the Rhino. Yeah. Another thing with the Geo is you just want to run, especially against my list, run to the center and control that center point. Like, that is all he's doing. Once you make it sticky, then you can start moving around, but you have a flamer, so if I touch you, you're going to flamer me in combat, you're going to sweep on me in combat, so he's really good at killing cultists, not good at killing rhinos. So that was the game. This is the end board state. The Defiler died. All these guys died. He only has a character left. This is basically everything else dead. And this is the game. So again, we called it after 2, finished up with 100, and we flipped his cards over to get 47. So he had 22 for primary, and then 15 for primary, 22 for secondary. So 47 to 100. Game 3 of LVO, starting off strong. Super chilled guy. Told him exactly what I told you after the game to kind of help him in his future games. So, and I think he subscribed to the channel, so hopefully he's paying attention to it here. He gets better at the demons going. I mean, again, you're probably not going to see Chaos Call, but going into that. So next game, this is the hardest game. This was the game that I texted my wife and told her that I lost, because I'm pretty sure I should have lost this game. Okay, this was mission. Was this Killmore? This is Purge the Foe. So this is my hardest mission. Going against my hardest matchup, going against a vehicle army. So everything that just lined up did not line up in my favor. So we practiced this mission, I think 6 or 7 times before going to LVO. This every single GT I play, this is my hardest mission. Anytime I go into Purge the Foe, this is the one that I have to get by to try and win the GT. And most GTs has Purge the Foe fucking twice. Nova had it twice, this had it twice. It's brutal. So if I could play it early on and try and get like somebody that hasn't played Chaos Cult, that's good. But if I get a good player like this guy who actually plays Chaos Cult, another downside, brutal. So let's get into this game. Again, Purge the Foe, swift action, and tipping 20. So this is one where you can advance, I think, in action and fall back in action. So he has a sister tank, which I really like. Sister with the sisters inside. The 2 or 3, 3 of the last cannon dreads with the missile launcher. 2 Vindicators. This thing, the repulsor, the thing that Dave said, like, this thing just has a million shots. Takes about 20 minutes to shoot. The Tech Priest, 2 of these big land speeder vehicles. He's got a unit back here controlling the backfield. He's got the character that has half damage, a Reaper. Half damage, and I think he has a 4-up field of pain. Like, this guy's a boss. These guys who are badass, they're 3 wounds, 3 obsec, 5-up feel no pain with the character, and T6. So these guys are a bitch. These guys are super hard to kill. We get turn 2. Yeah, he went first. So he went first. So again, Purge the Foe, I don't want to go first. So he goes first, so he has to move up and kind of get ready to do that. So if I can stop him from getting a kill on turn 1, that is going to be the goal. And if I can get a kill on turn 1, that's going to be my goal. So for him, he moves up these guys in a long line. Turn 1, I actually get Call the Horde, which is that unit. And is that Secure No Man's Land? Which I believe we get on that one or this one. So we move up, we charge, and we don't kill him. So I don't think I got... Yeah, I didn't get a kill. He didn't get a kill. So turn 1, we both didn't get a kill for this mission. So we charge in. Full rerolls to hit. Full rerolls to wound. Thanks, Doc. You too. So full rerolls to hit. Full rerolls to wound. I was like, all right, we got Purge the Foe. Let's try and kill this unit. We first put all of the shots we can into it. We put all these random, like... plasma, melta shots, all that stuff into it. I'm like, all right, I didn't kill anything. Then let's charge. So we charge, and I think I killed 1.5 guys. It was like 30 wounds. He makes 28 or 27 out of 30 saves. AP 1, he armor contempts. I did have Cypher within range, so he had to spend 2 to armor contempt, which was worth it to him because then all of his guys basically lived. So now we're stuck in the middle, tied up with this unit, which all he has to do is just back up and just murder me, which is what he does. And then up here, he rushes forwards with these 2 vehicles to try and get into... This is a ritual. Yeah. No, this is Purge Foe. Game 4... Oh! My bad, guys. This isn't Purge the Foe. This is Ritual. So, my game 4, I posted it in the description below. Purge the Foe was against AdMech. We'll go over that. Remind me. We'll go over that after this game. This was Ritual. That's why there's no objective there. This is Ritual, Swift Action, Crucible Battle. So Ritual, that's why there's an objective there. We put an objective there with all the other dudes over there. And most of the time with Ritual, you're going to be putting them first objective there, second objective there, third objective there. That's kind of what he's doing over here. That's usually where the Ritual objectives go. My bad. Yeah. So again, nothing died. Going into the next turn. This is where I kind of like fucked up. Somebody stepped on his army, so I felt really bad. Somebody stepped on his army before the game and broke all these Reaver dudes, the guys that come down, shoot, move afterwards, and can charge, which is crazy. So comes down with the character. I didn't know they had precision, or else I wouldn't have rapided my red squad over here. Kind of was a little bit butthurt because I was like, did you go over that before the game? He's like, yeah. I was like, fuck. So I didn't know they had precision. It would have been good to know if he had precision, but he has precision on all of his guns. And then when he charges you, he has precision on all of his weapons. So I brought the guys down. rapid ingress, because like I was gonna come in this side and kind of like move up and just kill as much vehicles as possibly can. These two dreads mainly. These guys first. So it comes down, shoots, takes my Dark Commune down to 1 wound, and then charges me and then kills her. So now I don't have a 5-up invuln save, and I don't have advance and charge for free, and I don't have +1 to hit, +1 to wound. So this unit is just kind of like dead to me. So after he charges in, I believe I kill them with the just random attacks, and then I lose the enhancement as well, so I don't get the +1 strength, all that shit. So everything's just going bad for this unit. At this point, I'm like, all right, I probably lost after getting that done. My whole yellow squad got killed by this fucking thing. Full rerolls to hit, +1 to wound, I think. Dude, it's a million shots. So putting a million shots into my yellow squad and then following it up with like a vindicator, it just wasn't good. So this thing just one shot at an ACDC unit, and I couldn't really have an answer for that to go back to, because now I have the green squad, which is still waiting here. I have the red squad, which lost its character, and now he's kind of like pushing forward. So he still has this big FU unit that's not going to die. He still has all of his dreads, still has 2 vindicators, still has his FU tank, still has 2 land speeders, still has like, this is not going good. This is where I'm like, all right, dude, I probably lost. And I was like, I'm fine. If I go 5-1 this weekend, I'll be happy. So what I have is Bile, who lost his squad, but he's in combat, did 6 wounds to this dread, which was cool by himself. He like wounded him 6 times with his lethals, which was funny. Failed 2 and then did 6 wounds to him. This tank is about to be tied up with my Rhino. And let's go into the next turn. So you could see here, I charged the land speeder and the tank with my tank, so that way he has to fall back and do something, but you can't fall back in action, you can't do all that stuff. So I'm just trying to tie him up with as much shit as possible. So I tied him up with Cypher, I tied him up with my tank. These guys are just trying to hold the objective. So objective there, I have 20 OBSEC here, 30 OBSEC here. And then up here, I have my green squad that committed to try and whittle down this, which I whittled him down. This guy's 1 wound left, and then the character. And then I did a couple wounds to this thing, but not enough. Cypher then is in the center. He helped out by shooting these guys as well. Down here, we have most of my backfield screened out. Cypher came down to help out. The character, we want to try and kill the character this turn. That's why Sile is down here, Celeste. And then the Demonettes, I believe, came down to charge as well. So Demonettes came down, charged the character. Red Squad moved up, charged the character, charged these 2 dreads. And now we're just trying to start tying up objectives. So we got rid of this objective. I believe he's still controlling this one. And then we tied up this. So my goal here to come back is to stop his primary. If I can stop his primary, that's going to be the only way I'm going to come back. And that's all we're focusing on. So I'm holding my primary as much as possible, and we're denying him here and here. So all he's getting is 5. While having 3 objectives that he can choose from, he's only getting 5. So next turn, this is basically wrapping it up. He's starting to move back with all of his tanks. He should have been more aggressive with these guys. We have an objective here, and we have an objective here, which I brought these guys on the turn prior. So these guys came on, made both of these sticky, which was smart. So now both these stickies, I don't have to worry about them. I can walk off them and go do whatever. Celeste came here, made the objective, moved 9 out here, shot the character, charged the character because I'd assassinate, killed the character, and then piled into this vehicle right here. So now I still have Celeste in the center, objective here. I got rid of this objective because I already have 15 max anyway. This tank came out with the sisters. Sisters came out, flamered a bunch of dudes. I transferred the wounds off to the cultists, so that way they died instead of these guys, so I had more OBSEC on the point. And then I reserved these guys onto the backfield to kill the sisters, and then just tie up this tank. So this objective is fine now. This objective I gave up. We're fighting over the center. This Rhino is stuck in combat with this dread. This repulsor is still fucking alive. Character's still alive. Vindicator's backed up. I tied up the Vindicator with just 3 random cultists, and these cultists stole this objective and tied this thing up. So I was like, all right, how many attacks do you have in combat? Here's 10 guys. And that's basically what I did for the rest of the turns. So by the end of the game, you could see the end board state. He flew this thing up. And that's about it. So at this point, I think we realized that he couldn't come back because of the primary. On turn 4, we kept him to a 0. So on turn 4 is when I added up all the points just to make sure that there's no way he can come back. So we had 4 on turn 4, 0 on turn 4, and then 0 on turn 5. So look at that. We held him to a 10 for primary. That was the only way I was winning this mission. For our primary, we had a 50. We had 5, 15, 15, 15. And then for secondary, we had 50 in total. Sorry, 91 in total. So 91, finished up with 60. Had really good secondary scores. But yeah, that was brutal. So tying him to a 0 and 0 is the only way we were able to win that mission. But yeah, really good player, new Chaos Colt. And the only thing differently was using these Vindicators to sit on the point and just shoot in combat. I think this Vindicator was on the point, and then eventually he backed up. And he shouldn't have backed up. He should have just kind of stayed there, stayed in combat, and just keep shooting in combat. Same with this Vindicator. Move up on the point, sit on the point, and just keep shooting in combat. Repulsor was your MVP. Repulsor picked up fucking 2 AC/DC bricks by itself. The Preds, we talked about it. He kept these guys in combat for one turn too long. There was the vehicle here and the other vehicle here. He should have backed them up a turn prior to get them just away from the fucking Rhino, so that way they can go do actions and do whatever they need the next turn. If he would have killed the Rhino early on, I probably would have lost the game. And yeah, if I would have known that these guys had the precision, I probably wouldn't have brought them in over here. Or at least just maybe back here so they couldn't get to me. So that way then I could just move up, kill them, still touch the dreads and stuff like that. So that was the only difference I would have done compared to what he would have done. So really good. He was crushing me. Beginning of the game, he had an 8, 10, 6 for secondary. I had 5, 2, 7. So yeah, brutal. So let's go back to game 4. Game 4 was against Admech. That game was super fun. Dude was awesome, super chill. That was the video we were watching with Joe. Shout out to Joe, War Games Live. Go watch that video. It was the first game of today, the second day. It was against Admech. He was running Horde. I was running Horde. That was Purge the Foe. So he ended up going first. Kind of putting his guys out. We were able to get the kills. He failed a charge in the beginning. He charged his tank into my green squad. We killed it on his turn, which got me a kill, and then freed up the green squad so the green squad can move up and go kill something else. It wasn't good for the Admech once we're able to get past our center objectives. Once we got past our center objectives, he had a lot of -1 OC, so I had to basically win by holding the center, the top, my home field for hold more, and then just keep fighting on the bottom objective and keep throwing bodies at him to tie up his tanks. And we played on one of the hardest missions or hardest maps, he was saying, because there just wasn't a lot of shooting. He was running a shooting Admech Horde list, and there just wasn't a lot of shooting with the WTC terrain that we had set up for the stream. So kind of wasn't in his favor with the terrain, but it would have been a little bit of a different game if we played a normal terrain, maybe the terrain layout 1 or this terrain layout in 6. Who knows? But again, really good player. Had back surgery, so he was hurt and leaning over the table, so I tried to help as much as I could. But yeah, it was a fun game. Super cool. If you want to watch that on stream, I linked that in the video description below. And then the game after this is our last game of the tournament before the final round, which was Shadow Round. So this game was against a Custodes player. Shout out, because he got engaged the next day. So we had this whole thing planned. It was super awesome, super chill dude. We were talking about it because if he wins, he might have to drop anyway for the Shadow Round, because he had all this planned with his now fiance to go get engaged. So with this game, he's like, all right, bro, we can probably call it after turn 2 or 3 because of how the game was going. But if he would have won, he might have had to drop and then would have got pushed like the next person to go to the shadow round. But still, if he goes 6-0 with the Custodies, with the one list that won Worlds, like congrats on him, dude. Like he was, again, awesome dude. I coached him as much as I possibly could. At the end of the game, I told him exactly how to beat me in this list. So he was, I just want to pull him up because I got to say congrats. Anthony. So Anthony, congrats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So congrats on being integration. Yeah. So what had happened here was he lost with deployment. We played Scorched Earth. Game 6. No, we played Terraform. So playing Terraform against Chaos Cult, you basically have to go first. The only way to stop it is you have to basically do Terraform with an action to have me commit, because if you're doing the Terraform action, I can't do the Terraform action. So for this, we kind of had to walk forward and just Terraform as much as we possibly could. So for his deployment, this is his deployment. We played diagonal deployment. He started his Wardens. He had 3, this is the Talons detachment. He had 3 Wardens, 1 in Deep Strike, a Flamer sister unit here with Scout, a vehicle, another vehicle in reserves, a Rhino with the sisters with Scout, and another Warden squad down here. He had Draxus with the guard on his home field objective, and I believe that was it. So it's a smaller list compared to my list, and he was just super defensive. Now, how you're going to deploy with Custodes is you're going to be a lot more aggressive against a melee army like myself, because you're going to have to force me to come at you. If I come at you, you have a 2-up save. If you had the Assassin in your list, I can't do any strats turn 1, and you can have units to countercharge me. So let's say I charge your Warden Brick. I'm probably not going to kill. We already rolled it off. What's up, Troll? Thanks, bro. If he charges it, or if I charge it in him turn 1, he can then just counter charge with another unit to basically murder my ACDC brick with the amount of shots he has, or attacks. And we rolled it off, I think after. Oh, and I had to show off his Rhino. So he won an award for this Rhino, guys. So make sure that you comment and say how good this Rhino was, because I told him I would mention it if I won. If he won, I wasn't going to mention it. But if I won, I was going to mention how beautiful his Rhino was. So shots right there. Okay, so this is what we did. We terraform, ran up, waiting to terraform, getting up here, going this way. We scouted this way, and since he was so far back, because of our threat ranges turn 1, I was able to kind of like move up, scout, and then move up 8, and then just terraform here. So now he has to kill an entire yellow unit to stop terraform, and then an entire green unit to stop terraforming. Again, I went first, really hard to do. Like after me going first, it kind of was like game from there, especially starting that far back. He scouted up the Witch Seekers, and then ran these guys up 1 inch away from the wall. The tank didn't have a ton of shots. If he shoots the green unit, I can bring him back and then have the extra charges. So he didn't want to shoot the green unit, because if I take him on the little guys and then bring guys back, I can get that extra charge. Couldn't have painted it better. So yeah, again, this list was not made to go against Chaos Cult. Again, you're not going to see Chaos Cult a ton anyway, but yeah, so we plant everything on this objective. He has lone op, so you can't really shoot him, but he's kind of just camping the center. And we're going to get max on primary turn 1. He moves up his guys here. He moves up his Witch Seekers. Didn't get any really flamer shots into me because he didn't want me to horde move. But that probably would have helped him out, because if I horde move, he can then charge me easier. So after this, we committed, and this is where we found out that we can't kill Wardens. So we charge his Warden squad. He procs his 4-up Feel No Pain in the phase. I only kill 2. I think I killed 3 Wardens. So there's still 2 Wardens left with the Blade Champ. So I was only able to kill 3 Wardens with our full rerolls to hit and wound, -1 AP. and that was with shots. I don't think I grenaded, but that was with the shots, and still wasn't able to kill as many. Cypher ran down here because I didn't want him to do strats. And I think we terraformed this with these guys before they got shot. And then they ran back because we didn't need it anymore. Because maxing out terraform, and then controlling basically all the points, you max out 15 anyway. So we kind of like ditch the center objective because we don't need it anymore. And then we just screened out. So this was a perfect game for him to realize how good screening was. We had a Trader Guard unit come in from reserves. Oh no, they just advanced up. So they were back here, they advanced up, they Desperate Pack and then advance, and then I just spread them out all right here. So, and then I moved up my Rhino to spread out my Rhino. So he's got his Wardens here that have to get through my Trader Guard, a Rhino, Bio with Cultists on the point, and then all this green unit that's just waiting in the backfield. That is almost an unkillable objective right there. Then we screened with our demonettes. So how we did this was we came down 9 inches away back here, and then we wanted to charge his sisters back here, which we charged, stayed outside of 6 inches from these guys, and then when we piled in, we got like 4 in combat with the sisters. When we piled in, kept all these guys kind of like 2 inches apart. These 3 are within 2 inches of each other, and then we just spread out. Now you can see we blocked out this part of the table, so these Wardens and Guard are just stuck here, and then we were stuck there, and then we have Sile starting to move up over here. He came down there to try and flamer these dudes left. Didn't really do anything, but he's blocking out there, so we blocked out from here all the way down to there. So now he's got his guys kind of wrapped up there. He can't bring his tank on. His second tank has to come in back here. And that was our goal. So we blocked out all of this, 9 inches, and then we blocked out all of this. So the only spot he can bring in his tank is exactly where his tank is right now. So he had to move his tank up there, bring his other tank in. So that was what he learned, was screening out is just so crucial going into Chaos Cult. That's why you start everything on the table. Do you or your opponents ever have trouble differentiating your model squads with that many on the table? So he did really well with the bases different. Like anytime you make an army or painting an army, you always want to think about your opponent. Like you can make your army look as amazing as possible, but make sure you think about the gameplay and the game state. For myself, I buy these markers. Like these guys don't have any markers, so that's one unit. Then these guys look completely different. That's another unit. These guys are regular cultists with red markers. And then I have regular cultists with no markers. Again, same unit, markers, no markers. And then I have Trader Guard with silver markers, Trader Guard with blue markers, and then my yellow squad, green squad, and then red squad didn't even come on because we didn't really need them. So every single unit is different, and my opponent can see how every single unit is different. That's going to come up actually a game against Jack, because we'll get into that game, but like he said he couldn't tell that unit was different, even though it was like a green dude that was completely green and a different model than the other 2 red guys. So again, you don't want to feel bad because sometimes people are colorblind. They don't know if the colors are actually different or not, which I felt bad because I actually played a guy who was colorblind and I had to keep reminding him like which unit was which. But I think Jack said that he wasn't colorblind. So that was kind of like a little bit different there. But anyway, this game, that is making it as easy as possible. So his was the bases. He had stone bases, or salt bases, gray bases, leaf bases, snow bases. So that made it easier to determine who was who. Plus he has Wardens and Guard, which actually look different as models. So it was really easy to differentiate which unit was which. It's like, see these dark stone, light stone, and then like clay with grass. So really cool. when running one vehicle, how often to tank shock? Only when it is 100% needed and I don't need that extra CP. Let's say all my AC/DC bricks are dead and I don't need them to do anything. I might tank shock just to try and kill a character. If I'm running low on trying to kill this like last wound dude, that's the only time I'm really going to tank shock. Most of the time you're not tank shocking. Most of the time you're going to throw a grenade. Grenades I think are going to be better than the tank shock. It might have a little bit better of a conversion because you need 4 ups instead of 5 ups. You're only rolling 6 dice compared to 9 dice for the Rhino, but still I think grenade 8 inches away is going to be a lot better than the tank shock. The Rhino's there for secondaries, waiting until they bring it down and then coming out and just transporting your guys super far. Plus with Bio in there, he can get out 11 inches, which is just super far. And then another you can get in and it can move, stuff like that. Yeah, these are from Etsy, little base markers. I think they're all 3D printed. They actually sell them on a website. I should reach out to them because I can use a sponsor. You can put magnets in them on the bottom. So you can stick them on magnetic trays so it's a lot easier to transport. So shout out to that company. If you are that company, reach out to me because I'm always looking for sponsors. All right, so that is the last game. Again, super awesome dude. This was the end board state. I have basically everything on the table. Red guys, rapid ingress down here. These guys finally died. He's got these guys in the center, which we're about to commit on them in the center with Cypher, Trader Guard, Celeste, and a full red and yellow unit. So these guys are probably going to die. And then up here, I can just keep launching guys at them to kind of hold them down. So end of the game. We finished up that game with 100. And I forget what Anthony had. It wasn't a ton. It was like we went over his secondaries just to see what he can get for the last like 3 rounds. And it was normal, like doing cleansing and extend and stuff like that. But that was what we finished up. So we finished up 6-0 at LVO. And then we got our Shadow round, which I felt Shadow round was completely different. I don't know if you guys have heard about it. It's basically not playing on clock suggested by me. So I felt like a fucking asshole after the fact. I went into Shadow round not thinking that there was a time limit. Again, dumbass on myself. But then nobody really told us like when the time was going. So you know how like most GTs or even this GT, you guys should be finishing up round 1, you guys should be finishing up round 2, you guys should be finishing up round 4. They even walk around and say, hey, what round are you guys on? Oh, we're on round 2, you're behind, here's a clock. That never came up. We had people around the table talking to us. We had judges that were judging us, even though they didn't really need to say anything unless like we asked them to. Most of the time, like you call a judge over if there's like a dispute, or you needed to have a judge call to say like, hey, is this guy, what's the distance on this roll? Stuff like that. That's the only time you really need a judge. Like nobody needs to be talking around you while you're playing the game, especially game 4. With that mental load of playing like 12 hours straight in a 3-hour time difference at Las Vegas. So there's a lot of stuff that kind of went off. Again, it was a clock thing where he had a lot more than 30 minutes. We got it to turn 3 and then top of 4, but we weren't able to complete because the judges said, all right, time. Now looking back on it, at this point, I really probably should have just given him the game or roll off or whatever. But the judge was like, hey, you're not going to finish. Revert back to round 3, and you're going to use that score, which I was obviously up on round 3 because we were going into it. And I don't think I have the pictures of that game. It was World Eaters, really good player, played at Worlds, Soulmite Worlds. I think he lost to Lennon guard, which was brutal. Man, my guard looked really good. Yeah, so that's Jack's guards models with his little bases. They are still in one piece, by the way, so we did take care of them very well, Jack. So that was the Shadow round. It went to top 8, which then that's how we got into the last day with with Jack Harpster, which I did also link that video in the description, and that was Blood Angels. So we got Purge the Foe against Jack, and with Purge the Foe, he has less mobs, which are harder to kill. He's got Dante, 3 units of Sanguinor, captains, 2 Vindicators, last cannon dudes with the Librarian that can lone op when they're super far away. He's got the character dude that gets back up with 3 wounds. And then he's got the 6-man Plasma Interceptor and 3-man Bolter Interceptor. Really good list. Uppy downy. He's got Sanguinor. And if you guys watch that game, there was not a lot, but there's like 3 key mistakes that I would have done differently playing that game. So the first thing is when he charged my Trader Guard unit on the center objective, holding the center, he wasn't able to kill him because I was able to sack wounds off and do 24 mortal wounds onto my ACDC brick. Now make sure you guys tell your opponent that you don't have to wound. Now Jack hit me all the time. Like, he hit 12 attacks and then wounded me 12 times. He didn't have to roll the wounds. It just automatically carries over to mortal wounds. But when he told me 24 mortal wounds, I assumed that he knew the rule. So I assumed that he knew, all right, take 24 mortal wounds. So those 24 mortal wounds, then I only made 2 of them. So I took 22 fucking wounds on my yellow unit turn 1, which benefit but negative because now I don't have my yellow unit, so I can't go out and be super aggressive, but positive because he wasn't able to get a kill turn 1 and purge the foe. And I was able to hold more because my Trader Guard were still in the center objective after getting shot and then transfer wounds off to the unit right next to him. But then he charged me with his character. Now, what I should have done was not heroic with my whittled down yellow unit. I was thinking I was going to heroic, kill him, pile in, and then go do something else. But instead, I heroicked, didn't kill his character, and now I'm stuck in the center with four big dudes left, my character, and now I'm stuck on the center and can't do anything with his character still. So that was my mistake. That was the first thing. Second thing is I knew Sanguinor was coming in. I knew he was going to try and kill my Dark Apostle or Cypher. Now, if Cypher moves up and he kills Cypher, I still have my Dark Apostle, which I think I was willing to trade because he was staying too far away for Cypher to really do anything. But I really wanted to trade Cypher for the character, bring down his Dark Apostle, and now his Dark Apostle or his dude is in the center, which still isn't getting hold more. It's only killing Cypher. Yeah, so Cypher might have died, whatever. Cypher failed his charge. He was able to bring his Dark Apostle or his Sanguinor into my Dark Apostle. Now, what I should have done was I wanted to wrap my Dark Apostle with my Cultist, have the Dark Apostle next to a wall, so that way he can't come down within 1 inch of my Dark Apostle because the Cultists are there, and the Cultist didn't charge. So he can't come into combat with my Cultist. He can only come in combat with my green Dark Apostle unit. So what he has to do is he has to come down on the other side of the wall. Now he can't precision because he can't see my Dark Apostle. And with the Cultist there, he can't pile in to get into line of sight with my Dark Apostle. That's one of the ways to get around the Sanguinor getting the attacks off, which I knew. And after I moved my guys, I realized that I fucked up. And I wasn't going to go back and ask, hey, do you mind if I do this, this, and this? Because, again, it was too far. We were at top table, LVO, Jack Harpster. I don't want to do that. I should have done it prior, so I should have Desperate Pact, ran my Cultist, moved my Dark Apostle in between the corner, so that way and that's my intent. Boom, can't do that, done. Second thing that I could have done was Cypher, instead of going after that character, he should have fucking ran sideways and got within vector of the Dark Apostle. If that happens, he only has 1 CP, so he can't precision out my Dark Apostle. He can come down, get in combat, and do shit, but he can't actually precision my Dark Apostle, which would have saved my Dark Apostle on that whole left side of the table. So those are the 2 things I would have done differently to really put Jack on the back foot, because I was winning most of the game up until turn 4, which is when we clocked and now we couldn't really do anything. But if I stop him from killing my Dark Apostle, I think I win the game, because the 5-up leadership, +1 to wound, 4-up invuln save, bringing guys back, controlling the left side of the table, so that way his guys have to charge at me from all the way on the other side of the table, like Dante and everything. So those are the 2 or 3 things that I would have done differently to try and win that game. It was just mental mistakes. I should have mainly run Cypher over. But then after that, he won the game. So congrats to Jack. He then went off I think he lost the second to final round against the Deathwatch player. So then he lost to Deathwatch, and then Deathwatch went into, I don't know if he went into Floof or Ben. But yeah, so I think it was Floof. So I think he went into Floof and then lost the final round. Then Mark won the final game. But then after my lost, basically, we went out to dinner. Went out to diner, me and Keeble, another dirtbag. And then we just hung out. Walked around Vegas, kind of checked out Vegas until our flight at like 11 o'clock. Met some of the dudes at the airport, and then flew home. And that was our LVO of 2025. Finishing up with that, I need to get a hold of Jay Eggert. If you guys have contact with this guy, get a hold of me. And there was one more thing. Yeah, so then we finished up. I had to leave, but our board Dave got our trophies for Chaos, Best Chaos of this year, and then Best Chaos Space Marine player of this year. So we can now finally say we are number one Chaos Space Marine player in the world. And now I guess I can say I'm the number one Chaos player in the world, which is really cool. Number one person on ITC for the United States and number 4 in the world. So really, really good year. Met a ton of awesome people from all over the world. One of my best tournaments was Worlds. I'll probably do this in the recap video, so maybe we'll talk about that in the recap video. But yeah, LVO, guys, if you guys haven't been there, it's definitely well worth it. All the opponents I played were awesome, and there's nothing... yeah, so there's like nothing... yeah, I would just suggest going. It's Vegas. If you guys are into that scene, it's a shit ton of stuff to do. The Hotel Rio definitely upgraded with all of its food and accommodations. And the beer, I would suggest buying beer across the street because the beers at the hotel are like $12. But yeah, it's definitely a good time. I definitely highly recommend. Shout out to FLG. Those guys do a great thing. Games Workshop, all the people that work in Games Workshop, all the judges, like the judges, we wouldn't do this without the judges. Like the judges make GTs so much easier. Yeah, so it was a great time. You guys have any questions for me while you still have me live on YouTube? So all Warhammer players should do it once in their life. I highly recommend it. If you guys just go out there and see how it is, definitely get some practice in before it. If it is your first GT, you will learn a shit ton going into LVO as your first GT. Do you have much time to do anything while there? Honestly, not really. Depends on when you fly in. If you fly in early and stay late, yeah. Sunday you can hold out just to kind of do most of the stuff, most of the travel. But Sunday has an RTT if you want to keep going. Or if you make it to top 16 or top 8, you can play Sunday. But I think we get done at 8:30 and then 7:30. So you get done pretty late every day, but you can go out afterwards. Like you can literally just hop in an Uber and just literally go visit Vegas and then just come back and stay at the hotel, or get like an Airbnb or something. But there's just so much to do in Vegas. It's like not a ton of time. So if you want to plan ahead. More Colt in 2025, or you have other plans. So Chaos Colt is basically retiring. I don't think I have anything else to really prove with Chaos Cult. I think I proved it when we took a D tier from, other streamers saying like this is like terrible to then winning major GTs with it. I think we proved that like it is a very, very good detachment if you have the patience, if you have the time, if you have the clock, if you practice with it and understand what it's made to do. That's really what's gonna show that it's good. But yeah, I'll play it maybe once in a while. It's just like it's not super fun to play as like a friendly stream game. Nobody really wants to face it. But yeah, I think we're done with Chaos Cult. We did our Chaos Space Marine player for the worlds, or for the world. Now it's time to move on to another army, maybe Death Guard, maybe Imperial Agents. So yeah, we'll figure it out in 2025. What in Chaos Space Marine are you looking to pivot to off of Chaos Cult? Death Guard, I think the new codex should be coming out this year. Super excited about that. I definitely want Morty to be good. I want Terminus to come back. I want the zombies. I I don't want to be the Horde guy, but I might be the Horde guy. I ran Terminus before, like when the old Codex, when Terminus was a thing, I ran that. So I ran that before I ran this, or before I ran Chaos, and then before I ran Kroot, all that stuff. So like those coming back with Death Guard is definitely going to be fun to play. And I don't have number one Death Guard player in the world yet. Disgustingly Resilient, definitely want to talk to those guys, because those guys run an awesome channel. They're strictly Death Guard, so definitely getting to network with those guys a little bit more would be fun. Yeah, I think Death Guard is going to be really fun to play in 2025. Or Emperor's Children. Who the hell knows? We might be running Emperor's Children because we already have most of the Chaos stuff already. Agents would be a great flex. So taking literally an F tier. Like, I would rank these guys as an F tier. Yeah, so Imperial Agents, maybe. Maybe. But yeah, we definitely want to focus on growing the channel more in 2025 rather than flexing with Chaos Gold at GTs. Eldar leaks. I'm not an Eldar guy. I've never been an Eldar guy. I think they're cool. They're just not my forte. Like, I go to more of like Night Lords and Grey Knights and Death Guard. Agents are always fucking awesome, but those are like my lore-wise awesome armies that I like. I love Blood Angels. Blood Angels I think is really fucking cool. But yeah, that is my Orcs. Orcs would be really cool. But yeah, that's my lore-wise, is you have to play stuff you think is cool. And Eldar was never like my, oh my god, I love Eldar. Like, that was never my army. Yeah, if I want to be the top player, but I'm not that guy. Congrats, mate. You've been running Hordes for a while and stuck with it. Appreciate you, bro. Really started. I'm gonna do a recap video of 2024. We'll do a video on how it started in 2024 with basically the Chaos Space Marine Codex, and then we'll kind of do a whole video on that. But yeah, so the Horde guy, Tyranids, Sam Pope is the guy that basically runs the Tyranids. So he was above me going into, I believe, LVO. So he's really good player, really nice guy. I met him at Worlds, but he is really good at Tyranids. I used to have Tyranids way back in the day. I think when I was 16, I had Tyranids. 14. I think I was 14 when I had Tyranids. I had Necrons as well, but no, I don't think I'm going to be playing Tyranids as well. Kroots, yes. So Kroot might be another surprise army. I don't think, though, it has to be Tau. Like, I have to basically win with Tau, which there's so many good Tau players. But I have to win with Tau to get the best Tau faction. I can't win with, like, Kroot. Because then Kroot would be a sub-faction. So. Kyle got message restricted. I can't even read it. I can put you in timeout. So Kyle, we'll put you in a timeout. Pope is incredible, number 2 ELO in the world. Yeah, like I said, Pope is freaking nuts. Really good player. He basically does all the slingshot that we do in Chaos Cult. Yeah, 60 tactical Marines. Yes. So we do have a bunch of Biolists that has the Marines in it. I think I'm going to be testing out this weekend Abaddon with 60 Marines with Bile in the Bile list. So we're going to see if like 60, I think maybe 40 to 60 Marines, all with 4-up saves, 4-up invuln saves, and when it's go turn, they get full rerolls to hit, and then when you're on objective, you get full rerolls to wound. And you can come back D3 with battle line units. So that list, it might be really fun to test out. It might get shot off the table. Who the hell knows? But it definitely will kill a shit ton of stuff. And you might actually just pick +2 movement. Like, here's 60 bodies with Abaddon with +2 movement that can advance and charge and have a 4-up invuln save the entire time. Yeah, so that's gonna be fun. I'm gonna test that out this weekend. Make tactical great again. What's his name? Sasha was running like 60 Marines with tactical Marines. Did really well with it. What's your least favorite matchup? Doesn't matter which army. I think another Horde list, like GSC, I had really struggled in. GSC just has so many tricks and as many bodies and hit as hard as I do. So GSC, guard, demons, the Slaanesh demons are, I played against Justin, who is a local dude, really good guy. He destroyed me. So I only have like, I think 5 losses with this list, I think in my GT career. 5 or 6 losses. What you guys can go back and count, but under 6 losses. And Justin beat me with Slaanesh demons with my Chaos Cult list in a practice game, and that's when I realized, like, holy shit, I need to watch out for this list. But the only Slaanesh demon player dropped going into Shadow round because he had a flight to catch, but he actually went 6-0 at LVO. But yeah, Nolan, cultists are retiring, so you don't have to face them anymore. So congrats on your RTT wins coming up. Even though we didn't run Chaos Cult at RTTs, but hey, Justin is really good, and he just started this year. He kind of just dove right into it, like me and Dave was a pro player with other hero clicks and shit. Before that, like, Dave used to travel all over the world and play, so transitioning into a new game like this, you kind of just get engulfed in it and like it takes over. So Dave turned out really well, Justin's turning out really well, like all these guys in our meta, like Jack, for example. Like, Jack went from casual, making up his own missions and stuff, to being like, I'm never playing a game that's not painted and shit like that. Now he's like running games with tacky guys on his bases just to try and get the best games out of people. Like, Jack has come so far when this meta has shifted to where it is now, and the amount of good guys we have in our meta is just fucking incredible. I love it. I love the guys that we play with. I love the community that we're building. I love the Dirtbags. Like, I love you guys in general with what you're building as a community without even being in the same room together. Yeah, our whole area is just awesome with great talent. So let's get a Dirtbags team going, and let's travel all over. Crute will be coming up very, very soon. Once it gets brought back by Spook, we can play Crute. So as soon as it's painted, I will get it on the table for you guys. No worries. Yeah, and let's get this shirt going. So this is the new shirt from the 40K Dirtbags. We'll try and get more made this week, and then we'll get it up on the channel, the website. Thanks, bro. Appreciate you, Space. Thanks for joining. Let's get rid of that. Let's pull up this. Yeah, fucking that rhino was just on my screen again. But yeah, what other questions you got, guys? There's like so many lists that we have to make. How do you feel about the meta with a bunch of teleport and shoot guard, Space Marine, Deathwatch, GT Occult all doing really well and finished top 4 at LVO? So they're being run and played by very, 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 very good players. So you have to look at the player, not only just the army, because again, prime example, Chaos Cult. Like, how can Chaos Cult win GTs, major GTs, but then everybody else that tries it, they don't win as well? Well, you have to look at the player and kind of what they're doing with it. So I think the meta is the best it's ever been. Getting this amount of variety in the top 16 is great. Nova prior, there was like 8 Eldar players in top 16. So that's when you know the meta's fucked. But now when you have so many different armies in the meta, that's when you know you have a good meta. Like, when Games Workshop is actually trying to balance updates as much, like the amount of updates that they're having coming out, they had an entire month of Grotmus. Like, being able to do that and then already starting to balance it even up into LVO is amazing on what they're trying to do. I love where 40k is at. I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon. It's only going to get better and grow with hopefully what Henry Cavill's trying to fucking do with it. And if you guys have watched the video on, what was it, the streaming service Prime, like that, we need more of that. Like if you get more of that, people are gonna be like, yo, what is this? And then they'll look up Warhammer, and then they'll find a Warhammer store, and then they'll go in, and then they'll get talked into like buying an army, and then they'll paint the army, and then they'll find a hobby store, and then they'll play a first game, and then they'll get tabled, and they'll be like, I either love this or I hate this. And then like it's just hopefully it gets to that point where we have it on like ESPN Ocho, like shit like that, where we can go out and actually see this being watched on TV, like Joe is, doing. Like there's going to be so much hopefully coming up in the future, and us in the spot where we're at now, it's only going to get easier and wider range of players. So get rid of all the toxic players, we don't need it, and just bring people that want to get the community and teaching better in general. That's going to be the best way to grow it. Where do you feel Votann? I think Votann is like a one-trick pony. They need more models. I think they're almost like Grey Knights. Like it's like, hey, I have the Dread Knight, I have Terminators, and I have Strikes. Like they need more variety, because it's like, hey, this is what Votann does, and then that's it. So maybe when Votann gets a Codex and more army, I think Votann would be super fun. But I would play Votann. I wanted to play Votann when they first came out. I just didn't have the money to buy $400 battle set. But I think Votann look cool, awesome looking models, little dwarfs running around with crazy future weapons. So I don't know, I've only played Votann a handful of times, but I think they're a really cool army. Yeah, Prime. Still don't like playing the unpainted model. So Cave Midget has like 60 fucking, maybe 80 or 100 dude chaos list that we're trying to put on stream. Teleport and shoot too. I think we expect more teleport and shoot too. Yeah, probably. Wish I had local access to such great peeps like you and Jack. Frank was one of the original OG dirtbags. Meeting him at ACO and just seeing like this is the type of person that we want in our community for the Dirtbag Nation is all that we can say and all we can think about it. But game feels great to play right now. Both casual and competitive games feel more player skill and list exception than raw power. Yeah, 100% agree. Like you can run an okay list and still win the game. Grey Knights were always my example. Like Grey Knights don't kill shit, especially with the old attachment, and you can still win with Grey Knights if you can just understand what they're supposed to do. So I think we're in a really good spot with that as the meta. I've learned to plays back to back recently at our local store for people who played Space Marine 2 and got curious. Yeah, Space Marine 2 was also another huge win for Games Workshop. The amount of like Space Marine 1 when it came out, like it wasn't as big as it is now, and the PvP with it, like it actually got so much hype even before it got released, and when it got released it actually was that hype. So yeah, Space Marine 2 was a great shout out to Games Workshop getting that going. ESPN Ocho, oh god. he's just sitting up in his chair. He's like, oh, bold move, Con. Let's see if it plays off. God, I love that character. I love that dude. Oh, yeah, he's one of my favorite actors. Bro, I saw a pillow fight on ESPN. Nice. I saw Cornhole. Like Cornhole's on ESPN Ocho. Thousand Suns will have a teleport and shoot, and eventually get Spook. You want everything for whatchamacallit, all for T-Suns. T-Suns is already busted. T-Suns, once they get the Codex, they're probably even more busted, but they're fine. Thoughts on demons rolling into the Codex? I didn't hear anything about that. Supposedly demons are going to be going into Codexes. I guess not get their own Codex. Who the hell knows? But I don't know. It might not be a bad thing. Might also be a good thing, because all the demon players are like, what the fuck? I have an entire demon army. That's all I play. Now I have to buy 4 different Codexes. That's not fun. I don't like what they did. I think it's a money grab with how Games Workshop does that. I think if you're going to charge people $60 just to get a Assassin's Codex so they can actually see the assassin in their fucking app is, I think, bullshit. I think you should charge $10 or $20, get the digital version, pay per data sheet if you really want to, like $6 for this data sheet. Like that might be even good idea. But yeah, there's something that they should do with the codexes, because I think that's honestly robbery, especially for people like Jack who have 15 different armies and have to buy 15 different codexes. More important question, was your wife? So my wife, this is the first time she actually came to a GT to watch, but kind of really see how it was. I hope she liked it. It was really cool seeing her there and having her support me. Like, she went with two of her friends. Her friends like were just jaw dropped, like, what the fuck is this? Like, just seeing and smelling and hearing everybody around you is kind of a eye-opening effect for what they saw, but definitely a cool experience. I'm glad she came. I'm really happy that she got to see me play. She took a couple pictures, shared it with the family, and she was just in Vegas with her friends, so it was a cool time. Space Marine 2 brought back 4 or 5 new people a day into my local store even now. That's awesome. Finally, I can have you back. Yes. Yeah, I don't think it's too much to ask. Sea sounds are busted. I'm such an army whore. Yes, we know. You have to sell to then buy another army. That's basically where we're at right now, even though your painting is amazing. And the Games Workshop video at LVO said it was Emperor's Children Codex preview that demons will be in there. So maybe it's going to be like, you guys know that the Chaos Space Marine demon princes are different than every other codex, like the T-Sun's demon prince, the World Eater's demon prince, the Chaos demon prince. Like, every demon prince is different, so maybe it's like that might make sense. Like, hey, here's a demon prince, here's what these do, here's what that do, here's what the fiends do in this. Like, I have no idea, but it might be like that. I mean, that's cool, because like the Chaos Space Marine demon prince is insane. Like, it's really good. I want. Hey, now I get to run my 9 demon prince list and not care. Yeah, right. Like, God, there's so many armies to choose from, and like you get into that rut where it's like the silver pile of shame. Simple but not simple. 100%. You definitely just defined 40k. Oh, fuck my life. All right, so I have sisters I can't even count anymore, because like they're most of them are 3D printed and they're not painted and they look like shit, so I'm not even going to count sisters anymore. I like sisters, probably not going to be playing them for a while. We have Death Guard, Chaos Space Marines, Grey Knights, Custodes, Kroot. I guess you can count that as an army. And then Imperial Agents. So we have six armies. 6 armies. About to have 7. I want Emperor's Children. Emperor's Children kind of like Chaos, so it's kind of like the same thing. Yeah, 3D printing is definitely getting better. Got our boy printing us up like almost a whole demon army. So we're gonna have demons soon. Demon might be 7. T-Sun Demon Prince has Abidani. Yes, very good. Very, very good. Can't wait to play Scarby and Angron together. If it's true, yes. Yeah, I mean, Angron with any demons would be fucking insane. But you're on your Gene Stealer kick, so you better win the GT. I don't know. I really like Kevo's list. Kevo's list looks fucking scary. He's away though. He's over in the UK. I have like 5 flavors of Space Marines, if I count them as one. Yes, so they only count as one, Frank. 1 Space Marine. Later, Cave. Might come this weekend. I'll hit you up. Yes, 100%. I want the 3D printed Fulgrim model, the Forge World one. So I might have my boy print that. I just have to see how brittle it is, because if it's brittle, I don't know if I can do it. All right, what else we got? Later, Dave. Appreciate you. I need a game really soon, hopefully this weekend. I'm going to be a very expensive URI. I'll be going back to Eaters once the Codex comes out. Then it'll be at Jakari and Gene Circle. Got a new tablet. Hopefully we'll be bringing these to events so we can just do the score right on the tablet. Fuck yeah. And then streaming, so I can stream from the tablet. Upgrades, guys. Patreons. Any thoughts on trying AOS? No, not at all. 40K is taking up a lot of my time, and I have to give some time to the missus, to the job, to food, to sleep. There's no fucking way I can do AOS. Like, absolutely no way. I have the Forge World still also I want to check out. Yes, so if you can get that for me, that'd be cool. Magnetize the wings if you can. But yeah, so Emperor's Children I think is going to be insane. Fight first everywhere, feel no pain everywhere. It's gonna be awesome. All right, what other questions, guys? Anybody else through here? Yeah, we got fucking 50 people watching. What questions you got for me before we call it a night? It's 11 o'clock on the Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I love doing videos like this, taking pictures, talking about, you know, GTs. A lot of shit coming up in 2025. These shirts with the Dirtbags. Hopefully you like these. These are gonna be awesome. Creations of Bile. I think it's fucking awesome. Advance in Charge, Fall Back in Charge, Army Rule. That is for the Blood Angel. Wait, can you... Oh, the Slaanesh. Yeah, Fall Back in Charge for an Army Rule is just busted. Let's go for some bio lists. So here's the bio list I want to try this weekend. One of our local guys uses a tablet for his games, and I love that idea. I want to get a cheap one. Dude, $100. $100 online. This thing. I'll let you know how it is, but it's the Lenovo... Shit, I don't know what it's called. Sponsor. This. $100, Amazon. Lenovo Tab M9. Came with a case too. $100. Looked at the reviews. It actually came out pretty good. Again, I haven't tested it. I just fucking downloaded it, but it's Android. So hopefully that's good. Creations about. So again, this is the list I'm gonna try out Saturday. Friday or Saturday. Abaddon. Who the hell runs Abaddon? Abaddon and Bile. Imagine that. All the extra bonuses. Chaos Lord with a test subject. Cypher. Dark Apostle. Dark Apostle and Bile looks so fucking good. That's going to be secret tech, guys. Dark Apostle in Bile with 10 Legionnaires, being able to bring his little dudes back because they're battle line. You can bring back D3 dead models in the unit. Secret tech came from Dirtbag. Fabius Bile. Not the Warlord, though, because Abaddon has to be the Warlord. Cultist. 10 Legionnaires, Rhino, 5 Chosen, 5 Nemesis Claw, 5 Nemesis Claw, 10 Possessed, and 5 Warp Talons. I think Warp Talons are really good in Bile as well. But imagine that. So Abaddon with the 5 Chosen just running around shooting and charging and doing whatever. Speed 7 on Abaddon. Being able to advance and charge. Even with the Chosen. Doing it for free. But he can advance, shoot, because he's with the Chosen, and he can bring back a dude. He can't go with Legionnaires, I don't think. I think they changed that. Leader. Yeah, Chosen or Terminators. So with Abaddon, everybody within 6 inches has a 4-up invuln save. So all of these Legionnaire bodies all have a 4-up invuln save. seems pretty good. We're gonna be testing that out. If you could post that in Discord channel, I'd love to check it out. Oh, yeah. Let me see if I can get a link. I just bought it like fucking yesterday and already arrived. Amazon orders. Let's get you a creator link so I can get some support. Get link. How do I share this shit? Oh, I don't know, buddy. All right, Spook, let me know. I need that. I need some help. T-Suns one I'll buy that, and the Night Lords one. Yeah, I guess will we do Magnus? It's got to be Magnus, right? Any big guy we have to do Magnus, or we have to do that for the t-shirt. Share. Where's the share button? All right, here we go. Got it. Copy and Discord. Here you go, Frank. I'll just post it here. Boom. I think also this logo, we're gonna do Death Guard one as well. I think I'm talking to the artist. I wanna get the Death Guard one going for the channel. But yeah, guys, any other questions for me? Probably gonna be heading out soon so I can get to bed and go make some more ideas about 40K videos. Of course, Frank. Dude, don't blame me if it's not good. I haven't tested it yet. But it looks cool. It's like perfect size. You can hold it in one hand. Got facial recognition. System update. Restart. Cool. All right, guys, I think we're going to call it here. Shout out to our sponsors. If you guys want to support the channel, Av Dominus Nox, want to support the channel, head over to patreon.com. Head over to the store. We're going to be updating a lot of the t-shirts, so hold out on buying the t-shirts. Thanks, broski. Dude, it was awesome seeing all you guys at LVO. Like, just having everybody come up to me was just such a cool feeling, and being able to put names of faces and stuff like that, it was just super cool. I appreciate all you guys so much. Wouldn't be doing this without you. Super excited to grow the Dirtbags and YouTube in 2025. A lot more videos and different armies and different lists, not just Chaos Cold and GTs, but a lot of stuff is coming up in 2025. Again, if you guys are Patreons and you guys are competitive and Grandmasters, make sure you're messaging me if you have any questions, anytime, anywhere. Send me list ideas, send me tactics, send me whatever you guys need. That's why I'm here for you guys. And if you guys are interested in getting that coaching, head over to patreon.com so you get unlimited list reviews and ideas and tactics and all that stuff. So yeah, we'll do a recap video of 2024 coming up, and then we'll do a bunch of tactical videos. We have an assassin video lined up as well because Vect is insane. And yeah, we're putting together Imperial Agents list. We're going to be putting together Emperor's Children. And yeah, we got one more GT for coming up, and then all shits and giggles. So guys, appreciate it. Thanks for watching the stream. Let me know if you have any questions in Discord, and we'll see you in another video soon.